This is just my opinion, and we gonna talk about it. Back in 1972, our president, Richard Milhouse Nixon, aka Tricky Dick, signed into law Title IX. Title IX was introduced to bring equality into education, and it with some other legislation, it helped out the sports programs as well. Federal dollars were going into sports programs at the college level and even the high school level. So women were able to compete on an equal playing field with each other. Not 52 years later, just this week, uh, Joseph Biden added transgenders into Title IX. Now it's illegal for high school or college programs to not allow transgender girls to compete with regular girls. And if you do fail to allow that, then the money dries up. Your money dries up, and you can be sued. I've seen, and I believe you've seen as well, transgender girls competing in track and field and like blowing the girls out and making all kinds of records that these girls will never be able to achieve. Fam, this is going to cause, because it's no longer an even playing field. Um, this is going to cause our girls to be X'd out of sports. It's only a matter of time. XX and XY have different builds. So an XX is born to create babies. There's a little more fat, less muscle. The XY is a little taller, maybe, a little more muscular, more sinewy, I guess, longer arms. Um, just we're built differently. And so those differences show up in sports. There was a fight, an MMA fighter, and he was a male MMA fighter, got a sex change and became Fallon. And Fallon started then fighting women. Well, it was bad. And one woman got her skull cracked. There's a difference between us. And I don't begrudge transgender folks being able to compete in sports, but just like women had to have a even playing field, they as well should have an even playing field. So just as we got sports, they should have sports, and they should be able to compete amongst each other. Transgender boys competing against transgender boys, transgender girls competing against other transgender girls. Um, Transgender boys should not have to compete against regular XY boys. There's an advantage there that the XY boys have. And transgender girls should not be competing against regular girls there's an advantage that those XYs have. Even if you took hormones from a child, you're still just DNA, chromosomally, like physically, you're still built differently. So I have a problem that as women, we're not speaking up. I have a problem with the same women crying about the patriarchy, just applauding this. Where is the women's movement? Why aren't women speaking up for women and other girls? Why are their voices silent on this issue or actually cheering it on? There's going to be a time where there will be no girls competing because transgender girls will have the higher talent, will blow them out the water with records and with stats, and we're not designed to compete against each other that way. That's why girls were having their own sports, and I think girls still deserve their own sports. And I think as women, as grandmas, as mothers, we need to speak up because this isn't right. This isn't right. And what this is an election year, and there's a whole lot of people. It's not just the president. Whole lot of people up for re-election. And if this is what it's going to look like, if I have to fight as a woman to be for my rights as a woman, if I have to fight for young girls to be able to compete in sports, if that's what I have to do, then I vote all these bums out. That's my motto. Vote all the bums out because why? Why? You don't have to take away those girls' rights to establish rights for other people. Everyone should have an equal playing field. Title IX gave an equal playing field for women to compete amongst each other. Title IX can also create an equal playing field for transgender folks to compete in sports without totally annihilating women's sports, because that's what's happening. And women, you want to sit back and be quiet if you want to. Keep on voting against your interests if you want to. Women are disappearing. And I'm not having it. I'm going to continue to speak up. And I'm going to encourage other women to speak up. And women's movement, you are garbage. You are garbage. And join us again next time when Innis Will Ministries International presents Just My Opinion. Until then, bye.